All right, guys, so welcome back to our third game of the day, our final match for Day 3 of Starladder Season 7, Day 3. Star Series Season 7, as some call it. Welcome back to Dota Radio. I'm Zyori. With me is APOC. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate each and every one of you. We're going to see NEXT.kz here on the Dire side facing off against the Enigmas that are Duza Gaming. And I call them Enigmas because we haven't any history. We don't know much. So they may be buck wild, they may be not buck wild. Time will tell. Crossy, what's your deal, man? How you feeling here in Game 3?
Hello, I'm feeling pretty well. I've never heard about Duza Gaming. I think they are CIS region. So they're probably, I don't know, probably Russians, because I can see some Russian flags. No, I can see some Russian flags going on for Capron.
Oh yeah, I see it down there. Capron representing.
I'm not being redneckish, but I was just saying. Yeah, I think they fought off pretty well. They just won a game against who was it against? I think they just played against. Yeah, they played against.
Crap, who was it?
Against Can't Describe.
Can't Describe.
They won it. Yeah, they won that, and it was pretty amazing. I think that they have a pretty good shot at this. They're newer and up and comers, and that's why Starladder is here, just to show off that there are some pretty good teams out there for the CIS region.
Yep. Absolutely right. So let's go ahead and take a look at the bans here that started us off in this game. Outworld Devourer and the Naga Siren going to be taken off the field from NEXT.kz, and the Bat Rider and Alchemist will be taken off the field for Duza Gaming. Now that does leave the mighty Wisp open, who was first picked by NEXT.kz. Visage and Darkseer, the next two picks after that by Duza Gaming, and Chaos Knight grabbed by NEXT.kz to complement that IO. So this is already off to an interesting draft. One, we finally get to see a Wisp here, Kay. Usually he's banned. And Chaos Knight, in my mind, a blast from the past.
Yeah, Wisp Chaos Knight, man.
Woo!
I think we're back to early 2013, late 2008, 2012. Fnatic used to play that a lot. By a lot, I mean every single game.
It's a scary combo.
Yeah, then they started banning IO, because if you ban Chaos Knight, you're just gonna be they're gonna pick a Tiny or something like that, or an Ursa to counter that Chaos Knight, to go with that EO. So it's something that I haven't seen in a lot.
Yeah, it'll be exciting. Now, Chaos Knight, he's a great carry potential hero. One of his problems, though, is he kind of needs that steady farm. He's a relatively slow farmer, doesn't have a lot of flash farming abilities. So he's one of those heroes that if he starts to fall behind, he falls behind. But if he takes off, he can really take off. Some Chaos Knights get
he sure is one of those carries
scary.
that needs to have those skills early on with that EO pick. They need to go on aggressive early on with him, and he needs to pick that early. Probably Armlet or a BKB, preferably Armlet, so he can be more aggressive even. But
absolutely,
yeah, he really needs that, and hope he does that in this game, because EO and Chaos Knight, I haven't seen that in quite a while, and I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, I'm jiggling in my seat a little bit here. Let's see the next round of bans. NEXT.kz going to take Doom and Nyx Assassin off the board, and Duza Gaming going to opt for Clockwork and the dreaded Furion, as we saw in last game. Nature's Prophet can be quite the scary force to tango with. So, NEXT.kz with this EO and Chaos Knight, is it pretty safe to assume they're going to be trying an aggressive tri-lane here? Because this maybe be a Shadow Demon could work here, perhaps? Jakiro,
yeah,
I
Shadow
would have suggested
Demon
as well.
probably, but Shadow Demon hasn't been picked in a lot of time.
I was thinking Blast from the Past. Who would go well here? Shadow Demon and Enigma. They need to be in this roster.
Shadow Demon. I don't know. I don't know why people haven't picked Shadow Demon lately. This is gonna be a safe tri-lane because of the Chen pick.
Yep. So they're gonna grab Chen, and
NEXT.kz is gonna grab Chen.
And Duza Gaming gonna grab Jakiro. And here with their fourth pick, they're going to pick up a Tiny. So, wow, Duza Gaming going with a lot of magic damage here, as well as a lot of control with just between the Jakiro and Tiny and the Darkseer. A lot of crowd control there. So I like that mix. Be curious to see what NEXT.kz grabs with their next two pickups here. A little bummed to see the very safe tri-lane, though. Not that it's bad, just on a personal, I wanted to see some real aggressive action in the first couple minutes level. Bummed to see that Chen picked.
Dude, this tournament's been awesome. Just look at the
Yeah.
picks. Just look at the hero picks. I
Yep.
mean, last game we saw a Mirana with a Razor,
That's
and
true.
now we can see a Tiny with a Wisp.
A tiny against the Wisp at that. It's
Tiny
like,
against a Wisp and a Chaos Knight, dude.
yeah.
This is being awesome.
This is going to be good. So I don't know how to predict lanes here for what Duza Gaming is going for. How do you lane Tiny right now? I mean, is Tiny ideal for a tri-lane in our current meta environment?
Of course, he
Yep.
is really awesome with Visage and Jakiro.
Mm-hmm.
This tri-lane is pretty awesome against IO and CK. If they line up tri-lane versus tri-lane, I think that Duza Gaming are going to be ahead by a lot, because Jakiro has the Ice Path, Tiny has his double disables, the Toss and the Avalanche, and then you have the big nuke by Visage with his Soul Assumption, whereas Chaos Knight only has his Chaos Bolt, and hopefully they land a Tether before they get counter disabled by one of those three heroes
Yep.
that they're lining up against. And yeah, but Tiny can be played middle also. Just depends on what middle. If NEXT.kz give out their middle in this pick, probably Duza Gaming can pick another hero for the tri-lane.
Yep.
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So absolutely. So sorry, I'm just tabbing out for a second here. I think there we go. Let's try that. Okay, I just turned you up a little bit. So Tidehunter are going to be the fourth pick for NEXT.kz. Another, I don't know if I want to say blast from the past, but Tide certainly hasn't been getting the love recently that he used to so many months ago. So it's an interesting roster. I guess this is going to be a Tide off lane. I guess Tide could mid too. He's one of those versatile heroes.
Oh, for sure. We can see Tide being middle lane versus against the Tiny. With that Kraken Shell, he can sustain a lot of damage.
Yep.
And probably he's going to be in middle, because Tiny isn't really famous for being a hero that can kill early on heroes that are as tough as Tidehunter. So probably Tidehunter is going to be middle against the Tiny, if Tiny goes middle.
Right.
If that doesn't occur, I'm not sure. Probably Duza Gaming can pick something, or probably NEXT.kz right now just pick that Tidehunter to bait Duza Gaming into picking something, and they're just gonna throw Tidehunter into the offlane. But I'm not sure.
Could do that, yeah. Yeah, that's one nice thing about the Duza roster here. They are going to throw their last ban out on Bounty Hunter here. But with Visage, Darkseer, Jakiro, and Tiny, they have that flexibility to grab a really dominant mid hero if they like and put Tiny in that tri-lane, or they could put Tiny mid and pick up something like a Lifestealer. Lifestealer are going to be last banned, there you go, by NEXT.kz. So, they're going to go for the Timber Saw, so they are going to take a nice aggressive mid hero. This is going to be an awesome game. So, I'm guessing Timbersaw is mid, right? I mean, you don't want to tri-lane Timbersaw?
Timbersaw can no, you don't want to try lane Timbersaw.
Yeah.
You could, but you don't want to do that, because he's really strong in a lane alone. So he could just benefit a lot from the solo lane, even if it's middle, or usually he's played off lane.
Yep.
But in this case, you have a Darkseer, and probably they've picked NEXT.kz picked Tidehunter to counter Darkseer in the safe lane. Probably they want to send Darkseer in the off lane against the Tidehunter, who's going to be solo. And have a aggressive tri-lane bottom.
And the Big Daddy picked up Shadow Fiend, going to be that last pick for NEXT.kz. That's going to complement their Tidehunter, Chen, Chaos Knight, and EO. So this is turning into be a nice shapely roster. I love the Shadow Fiend pick. I'm embarrassed I didn't suggest it. A great mid-game carry to do some of that damage while Chaos Knight picks up that farm and continues to get more strong as the game continues. So they're going to be facing off against the finalized Radiant roster here. I always hate that how it goes to directed camera right away, and I don't want it to direct my camera. To the final roster of Timbersaw, Visage, Jakiro, Darkseer, and the cute but mighty Tiny. So
well, I think if Tiny is middle, that Shadow Fiend is a really a poor choice there. Because in my opinion, Tiny can just destroy Shadow Fiend. But Shadow Fiend, even if he loses his lane in the laning stage, he can just flash farm so easily that he can go back right into the game. If he's stacked properly in the jungle, he just go there, throw some raises, kills a lot of camps like that, and just gets back on track.
Yeah, and you're exactly right, but it looks like NEXT.kz is going to call their bluff as Tiny being played by Limbo on Team Duza is going to be headed down to the bottom lane. Looks like Capron on the Visage going to be heading down that way to support him. Unstable on the Jakiro is near the Radiant Ancients right now, but I imagine he's going to whittle his way down to the bottom once this match gets underway. Legion going to be playing Timbersaw in the mid lane for Duza Gaming, then up in the top. Of course, the off laner is going to be that Darkseer. Mib the best. He is the best. Fear not.
Yes, he is.
Fear not.
But Timbersaw is really good in the mid lane. He is he can really crush this SF in the mid lane.
Yeah, Timbersaw is scary. Ooh, Invisibility Rune going to spawn at that 0-second mark. Capron on the Visage is going to pick it up, and it's just going to get burned. So, you're right. Let's just look at the Dire roster very quickly here. We're going to see Mantis in control of the Chaos Knight up top, and of course he will be supported by the Wisp. In control by Reeves. In the jungle is going to be equal on the Chen. In the mid, we will have Wadafaka playing the Shadow Fiend. And down in the bottom, Stallcat on the off-lane Tidehunter. Oh, poor Stallcat. He's not going to be getting much in the way of farm. Already, he's kind of forced out of the lane, and Visage is still invisible. Hasn't even hit him yet. There we go. Stallcat all the way back to the tower. And Tiny is in free farm mode to start things off. But yeah, let's talk about mid a little bit. Let's talk about Timbersaw versus Shadow Fiend. Let's just talk about Timbersaw in general. Is he as strong as I think he is? As a Dota pub, I absolutely hate going up against Timbersaw. He is just, he's so tanky. He does a lot of damage. He's a beast, man.
He's even stronger than what you think. Because he's just in the mid lane, and at level 1, he was able to harass twice with Whirling Death with his first ability, that Shadow Fiend. And Shadow Fiend, I don't know if you know about this, but the Whirling Death reduces by 15% your main stat. So he reduced twice Shadow Fiend's agility, and he wasn't able to pick a single last hit in the first creep wave. So Timbersaw was level 2, while Wadafaka is still level 1 and two-thirds to level 2.
Yeah, the nice thing about Shadow Fiend, though, is once he gets those first few last hits, though, it's still even. It's 6-2 Shadow Fiend, 8-1 in creep score for Timbersaw. So you're absolutely right, though. Timbersaw is going to give him a run for his money, and he's already picked up the early bottle here. And Wadafaka, unfortunately, still unable to grab his bottle, so he's going to be at a little bit more of a delay. That's not Timbersaw. Tidehunter going to grab the Haste Rune, spawning in the bottom. Stallcat, only level 2 at the moment, does have Kraken Shell and Anchor Smash. No Gush at the moment. And he's just cruising around, trying to pick up experience when he can. But this tri-lane, playing it smart. They did put a nice aggressive lane ward there near the river, so they know exactly where Stallcat is pretty much at all times if he's in lane. And right now he's just running around the jungle trying to distract them from pulling and stacking and doing all that stuff those supports do. All the while, Tiny just getting absolute free farm still. Limbo 15-3 down here in the bottom lane, and Mantis in the top. That Chaos Knight is farming away, also sitting 16-0. So far, Wisp hasn't really had to do much besides stack and pull for him to get that lane control.
Yeah, Tiny is really has a really good attack damage early on, but now with the Quelling Blade, he's even better. So he's been going for this last hits, and he's 18 for 3, I think. You just mentioned that. And Chaos Knight is 16 for 0. So both are just free farming here. The supports are trying to pull. I just saw Jakiro and the Visage make a double pull because of that Tidehunter aggression. They were able to do a double pull with that creep wave. So they're getting there. They're getting there. Chen is usually, as you can see, he's just farming the jungle away with a smoke in his pockets. They usually when you pick a Chen and you farm, you usually want to pick two creeps, two nice creeps, and just smoke and go for a gank on the mid lane because there's no one in the aggressive in their short lane. So probably he's gonna just use the smoke quite soon.
Just needs to find the creep that he's looking for. Right now he does have a satyr, or how do you say it? Satyr? Tormentor? Satyr. It's a weird word, not one that we say too often in modern day English. But regardless, not the best creep to gank with is basically what I'm getting at here. He is going to have a Centaur, though, that he's going to be able to grab right now, of course, with that War Stomp, one of the best creeps you can have, aside from the Dark Troll that has the net as well, the Ensnare, if you will, as well as the little skeleton babies.
Yeah.
So, still
Oh, and
at the 4.5-minute mark, no kills on the board. It's one of these games, pretty static. And as I say that, Stallcat may find himself in trouble down in the bottom lane. Tiny going to throw the avalanche, and that's going to be a first blood. Tiny going to be the one to grab that last hit. So finally, the Radiant tri-lane for Duza Gaming going to be able to pick up the first kill. Very nicely done. Poor Stallcat just getting picked on. Only level 2. Not much he could do there.
yeah, and as we were seeing that engagement, the Darkseer, if he just moved a little closer to the tower, the Wisp was hiding in the Radiant secret shop. So Wisp was really close to Radiant secret shop, and if Diaz just thought of just moving close and defending his tower, he would just melt to that Chaos Bolt and Reality Rift. I don't really understand why don't... Oh, bottom lane.
Uh-oh, Stallcat, yeah, he's back, and he's going to get dove on. All three between the tier 1 and the tier 2 in the bottom. Stallcat going to fall. Visage going to be the one to grab that last hit. So, Duza Gaming decided to put some pressure on this tier 1 in the bottom lane, and while doing so, they're able to pick up the kill. I think Stallcat just wasn't prepared for a dive that deep, as these heroes are still reasonably low. That tower does a lot of damage. The level 2 Tidehunter, though, he's just an easy target without even Gush. He's now level 3 and has Gush, but at the time wasn't able to do anything. No slow. It's just looking rough. That's furthering Tiny's farm even more, leading the way on net worth. We'll see what a free farm in Tiny can do, because this game, I think, is going to be a Tiny with maximized farm. I'll be curious to see what item choices he decides to make as well. All the while, NEXT.kz doing well in the top lane, however. What is sort of their tri-lane, their 2.5 lane, if you will, doing quite well against the Darkseer. Chaos Knight going to secure the first tower kill of the game. And it is going to go down. Poor Darkseer going to lose his tower, and if they can get lane control back, Darkseer not going to be able to pick up much in the way of farm. Maybe stuck on that level 5 mark for a couple minutes.
Yeah, something that's really interesting in this game is that the XP graph shows that goes into the favor of NEXT.kz for about a 1k of difference, but the gold graph went... oh, never mind, it just changed. It was in the favor of Duza Gaming some seconds ago, but that tower just leveled the field.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely right. I hate that when the graph... Like, you're about to make a comment on the graph, and then it jumps, and you're like, oh, wait a second. That changes everything that I was about to say.
Yeah, but 7 minutes in, it's not really that important. It's 1k difference, so...
Yeah.
It was just to say that the difference in experience was showing a different story.
Yep. Well, and on that net worth chart, Shadow Fiend actually leading the way now at about 3,400, and the Chaos Knight is tied with Tiny right around 3,000. So Timbersaw actually starting to fall behind a little bit in the mid. We talked about how good of a start he had, but Shadow Fiend now 51 and 18, and poor Timbersaw 34 and 2. Really just getting slapped around by Wadafaka here in the mid lane. Shadow Fiend was 1,600 gold in the bank, both with their bottles, and bottle crowing. I think they're both actually bottle crowing quite a bit here. So Shadow Fiend going to pick up a Wraith Band, his Boots of Speed now, and a Magic Wand. So just getting those core items, and is just going to right-click the Shadow Amulet. So Wadafaka going to be in trouble here, though. Jakiro going to come in. He's going to connect. That'll disable him. Timbersaw now going forward, trying to pick up a kill. Wadafaka sipping the bottle. Oh, and it's not going to be enough. Timbersaw just going to be able to finish him off with that ultimate. But Stallcat going to come in, and he's going to clean it up. Timbersaw going to fall. That's going to make it a 1-for-1. Mantis on the Chaos Knight going to come in as well. Unstable on the Jakiro. Headed for the hills. Does land an Ice Path, but it's not going to be enough. Tidehunter actually gets that last hit, and Stallcat coming out of nowhere, going to grab a double kill, and that'll be enough to hit him level 6. So now we have a Ravage on the board, and that changes things a little bit. NEXT.kz still trailing by 1 kill, but on the gold graph, we see a totally different story. About a 1,500 gold lead here at the 8.5 minute mark for our dire side.
While that dive was happening, the Timbersaw just wanted to run away from the top rune, but the top... oh, never mind.
Oh, more initiation in the mid lane. Wisp going to tether. Chaos Knight going to be able to hop forward. That's going to be an easy kill on the Unstable on the Jakiro. NEXT.kz in a weird spot here between the tier 1 and the tier 2 of the mid lane. Chaos Knight nowhere to go. He's going to fall. That's going to be a 1-for-1. Ravage going to come out. It's going to connect with pretty much the entire Duza Gaming roster. Only 2 left. Timbersaw on the ropes. A couple of hit points left. He's going to be able to hop away. The only person left alive is Tiny, and he's over on the side here. He's going to be able to pick up a double kill. Is it going to be a triple? Yes, it will. Wisp going to fall. That's going to be kills on Shen, Wisp, and the Chaos Knight Tiny, really the victor there. It's going to be 65 to level out this match at the 9.5 minute mark. Tiny with 2,200 gold in the bank. That's exactly what he was looking for. He's going to hop ahead on that net worth chart now at just about 5,000 gold with Shadow Fiend only at 4,400. So the tide's going to turn a little bit there as Tiny comes in with the cleanup.
Yeah, and talking about tides, did you see the Ravage? It was awesome. He was behind the tier 1 and tier 2 of the Radiant, and he ravaged the whole team of Duza. And 2 of the heroes went right critical in damage. But I don't know how they did it, but Tiny just picked up 3 kills.
Yeah.
Because CK wasn't there. CK was already dead, and SF just didn't have his Requiem of Souls. He didn't have his ultimate.
Yep.
So they weren't able to follow up on that Ravage. They killed 2 supports probably, and that Timbersaw, man, he was really low, but he was able to escape with that Timber Chain and with the micro from the familiars of the Visage. So they microed well. They stunned twice the SF, and they were able to give 3 kills away from the Tiny.
Yep, absolutely right. Shadow Fiend now going to pick up his Shadow Blade, and that'll certainly make him a more scary adversary here, give him a little bit more mobility. As Tidehunter returns to the bottom lane, Stallcat with some big plays right there is now level 8, but you know, still may find himself in a little bit of a rough position in this tri-lane. At least being level 8 now, he's a lot more tanky. He does have the survivability, but they're going to go in on him. The Ice Path not going to connect. Tiny going to hit him with a combo. Visage going to be there as well with the familiars, and just as I'm saying, Stallcat is looking a little more tanky. He gets dropped like he's hot, and down he goes. 7-5 now. Duza still leading the way. That kill very well may cost NEXT.kz their tier 1 tower in the bottom lane. They are going to use the glyph to delay this push, but all 5 heroes grouped up here. That's going to be an easy tower kill. Tiny going to be the one to grab that last hit as Duza Gaming does head for the hills. All the while, that opened up some farming for Shadow Fiend. He's going to put some damage onto Jakiro in the mid lane. The level 5 Jakiro going to fall in a matter of seconds. More ports coming in. Timbersaw going to blink, or going to port right into a Shadow Fiend ultimate. Very nicely timed by Wadafaka. He's going to get tethered, sent back to the base. Equal headed back. He's got the familiars on him, but he is going to be able to survive. Now Mantis coming in. He's going to catch Tiny with a big stun. Tiny level 10 going to drop the combo onto Mantis. Mantis going to be in some trouble here, and he is going to survive with just a few hit points to spare. Wisp coming in, trying to do a lot of damage. Kepron going to go down, and he's going to get exchanged for the Death Knight, so that's going to make those two kind of a 1-for-1 exchange. Still, a nice exchange for NEXT.kz. They do manage to get the tower kill as well. It does not get denied. The creeps manage that last hit, and they're going to be able to grab this haste rune up in the top lane. So we are all tied up on kills, but NEXT.kz still leading by just about 1,000 gold. I think that's the difference of the tower there. They are leading 2 towers to 1 here at the 12.5 minute mark.
Yeah, and that engagement was just clearly just the IO with the Chaos Knight. He just ported in, he brought the Chaos Knight, and then he just took out the SF when he was about to run away with his ultimate. He just tethered to the SF, who was really low. He was going to die, and that was the big clutch there play by Wisp.
Yep. Yeah, it was nice. It's so disorienting when you see heroes like, oh, Shadow Fiend, 30 hit points, and he disappeared. Oh, great. Oh, okay, never mind. He made it back to the well. So you have, I always have that moment of, like, stammering, where the hell did he go? I could have sworn he was just right there. But more item pickups have been made. You mentioned an early armlet on that Chaos Knight is kind of a necessity, and he's going to pick it up. Speaking of Chaos Knight, though, he's going to be down here in the bottom. There's going to be some engagement with the Wisp. He's going to try and hop in on the Jakiro. He's going to get caught in an Ice Path. Stallcat going to come in with a nice Ravage. It's going to catch most of the Radiant side that's down here. Still not looking good for NEXT.kz, though. Is Shadow Fiend going to get taken out? Wisp and Chaos Knight fallen as well. Tiny, the only one to go down. And they are going to finish off the Tidehunter as well. That's going to be a 4-for-1 exchange. I don't know what happened there. NEXT.kz just seemed completely caught off guard. Chaos Knight pulling a little bit of a Rambo move right there, hoping to catch the Jakiro, but the follow-up was there. Tiny was there as well, and they were able to clean it up pretty effectively. Tiny has now picked up his Drums of Endurance as well as the point booster, so he's a little more tanky, has that mobility, and he was able to make it happen. So NEXT.kz throwing away that little lead they just set up for themselves, and we have
bottom lane, there's a port.
Pretty much a level game. Oh, there it is, the port. They're going to catch the Visage right on top of him, and that's the power of the IO. no matter who he's paired with, but with the Chaos Knight, they just hopped right in before Visage even knew what was going on. He was taken out. Wisp going to go back to the base, and he's going to leave Mantis here to pick up a little bit of solo farm, though Tiny is going to join him in the bottom lane to contest that farm, and Chaos Knight going to have to back it on out. Now, I want to ask you something about Tiny here. We saw Limbo did go for the point booster and Drones of Endurance. He did have enough for the Blink Dagger at one point. Is an early Blink just no longer a viable build for Tiny? Does that not work as well as it used to?
No. It's no longer a viable build because he's not going into a ganking build. He's going into a hard carry build.
Okay.
So he's going for the Saganum Scepter so he can hit with a tree in his hand and just destroy everything.
Yeah.
I know exactly what happened this last fight, man. The CK engaged, but then there were two major factors in this fight. First off, it was the Tiny, which is awesome against the Wisp, because Wisp has 800 HP and almost no armor and no resistances, so he dropped almost instantly to the Tiny, and then the Ice Path that connected with 3 heroes was clutch there for the Timbersaw to end everything.
Yep.
He ported in, he did his AoE with his Chakram. He used the Chamber Saw, he destroyed this Chaos Knight. Chaos Knight just toggled once, the Armlet, but he couldn't toggle it twice because of the Chakram.
Yep.
But Chamber Saw was really... He was really on par what to do there because he threw the Chakram and he didn't retrieve it right away because of the damage over time. In case of Chaos Knight doing the toggle trick, and if he did the toggle trick, he would already die by the Chakram.
Yep. Alright, well there you go. All the while, though, we did see the Tier 1 tower for NEXT.kz fall in the mid lane. There's going to be a smoke from Duza. They're going to go in. Stallcat going to get the ultimate off, but he is going to fall. Timbersaw going to pick up that kill. It's chaos on the field. Shadow Fiend trying to do all the damage that he can, and he's going to drop. The ultimate going to pop, but not going to secure any kills. NEXT.kz getting completely scraped up here. Chen the only one left alive, and he's got nothing left but a whole bunch of creeps. We'll see Timbersaw try and connect. He's going to... Oh, he will connect with the ulti just long enough. Equal a few hits from death. He is going to make it back to the base, so it's going to be a 4-for-1 engage. After that Tier 1 tower fall, Duza Gaming with the smart heads-up play to use the smoke, move around the side by the Roche Pit, and come up behind the tower. Caught NEXT.kz with their pants around their ankles, and they were able to take a huge engage. They're now leading the way 16-11 here at the 16-minute mark. Not much
time in a row, man.
Yeah, not much NEXT.kz could do with that poor positioning they had.
NEXT.kz actually wanted to engage there because I think they ravaged to just Titan to run away and give some time to prepare for the Chaos Knight and the Wisp, but they were in such a poor position. They were already fighting inside of the wall of replica by the Darks here, and they were split up by that. SF was caught really on the wrong side of the wall. He was far away from his teammates, and all hell broke loose when Timbersaw just arrived with that Chakram and that Timber Chain, man. Timbersaw, just Chakram.
Yeah, I know. I was looking at that ability name, Chakram. It's a weird one. But we are going to see Duza Gaming group up. We have 4 of them up here in the top lane. There is Yakiro going to join the party. The Glyph going to be used, but they are going to be able to take out this Tier 1 in the top lane. So now things are flip-flopping a little bit. Duza Gaming going to pull ahead and take the tower advantage. They're now leading... no, it's tied up, pardon me. Towers are 2-2. But they are going to continue pressuring here. They are going to pressure the Tier 2 in the top lane. All the while, though, NEXT.kz was in the Roche Pit. They took him out. Shadow Fiend going to be the one to grab the Aegis. They are going to smoke up, and it's basically going to be 2 towers in exchange for a Roche kill. And I don't know, Duza Gaming at least getting a break even there, I think. They were behind on towers. Now they're leading 3 towers to 2. Now Duza Gaming actually going to smoke up as they move about the dire jungle, and they may look for somebody to pick off here. Shadow Fiend is still smoked up. Who is going to bump into who? Looks like no one is going to bump into anyone. Oh, they see the Shadow Fiend. He's up where the Tier 2 in the top used to be. He has no idea it's coming. He does have his blink, or pardon me, he doesn't have a blink. He does have his Shadow Blade. He's going to be able to Shadow Blade away for now. He's got a few seconds left on it, and he's going to be able to make it. So, potential action there heating up, but nothing going to come of it.
I mean, that was pretty intense for Duza. I think that they traded really well, those 2 towers. For I think they went ahead by having 2 towers against just a rush. But the problem here is that they lost Tier 1 bottom, so the exchange make it more or less even. So
Yeah, that's true. The
Yeah,
follow-up
NEXT.kz
there.
in a pretty good shape, man.
Yeah, the follow-up there, NEXT.kz taking out that Tier 1 in the bottom lane. I also want to note Shadow Fiend making an interesting item pickup. He did go for relatively early Boots of Travel here. He went Grey Boots, Shadow Blade, into a Yasha, and now has Boots of Travel. So he's going to be a little bit more mobile, cruising all over the place. We don't see Boots of Travel this early very often, but I guess that's just a testament to how well Shadow Fiend is farming. He's about 10.3k on the net worth chart, and second on the chart is that of Tiny with only about 8k. So he's a hop and a skip ahead of most of the competition here on the charts. And I guess
that's exactly what Hani said from Fnatic when they were going into the international. He was asked what was the most underrated item in Dota right now, and he said that was Boots of Travel.
Really?
It was the most underrated item in the whole game. Yeah, and you could see that Fnatic in their games pick like at least 2 Boots of Travels all the time.
Yeah. Well,
even when Notail is playing Meepo, he picks the Boots of Travel, of course.
It certainly does open up a lot more opportunities, and it opens up that inventory slot as well. You no longer have to carry around the TP scrolls, which is just another thing it brings to the table.
Exactly.
Tiny now has finished his Ognim Scepter, so he's got that giant tree from Lord of the Rings in his arm here, just cleaving away, doing as much damage as possible. And looking at the boots scenario, that kind of spells out a little bit some of the momentum in this game. We see 3 sets of gray boots on the Radiant side for Duza Gaming, and on NEXT.kz we see a set of boots of travel, and then everyone else at least has their upgraded boots right now. And but Timbersaw, although on gray boots, he actually did he just sell his phase boots, or no? He broke. Did he break apart his arcane boots because he just finished his Bloodstone?
Yes.
So yeah, he broke apart his arcane boots to finish the Bloodstone. There you go.
Yeah,
so.
He did assemble his boots to finish the Bloodstone. And what if I could pick those boots of travel because of the Wisp CK combo too? That's really awesome. If someone's being engaged, Wisp can port with CK, and then Shadowfucker can be there with Shadowfucker. That's I'm thinking about, man. Shadow Fiend, what the fuck when Shadow Fiend can port in with his boots of travel, and he can just turn tides around. If you don't have an HS Prophet, you can have Shadow Fiend.
That's a good point. That's actually a really good point. It does open up some of that that global presence that IO brings to the table to let Shadow Fiend have a hand in the fun. So that is a very good thing to point out. Shadow Fiend, though, he does have 3,200 gold in the bank. I imagine he'll up that Yasha into a Manta style reasonably soon here. Of course, he does still have the Aegis of Immortal. So I guess NEXT.kz, they're just taking their time here. They did start to fall behind a little bit. The gap was as much as 2,500 gold. And now it's starting to close. We're back around that 500 plus or minus mark with both sides just free farming on their respective sides of the map. NEXT.kz taking out their stacked Ancients. And Duza Gaming actually all grouped up about their Tier 1 tower in the bottom lane. I think they're fearing a push may be incoming. So they are grouped up kind of ready for it to happen. In case it does.
I actually think here that Shadow Fiend's going to pick a BKB and leave that casual Yasha there, because BKB is going to be the game changer for them. Because Duza Gaming has almost close to none physical damage, except the pure damage that Timbersaw provides when he's using Rolling Death near a tree. But that's going to be just positional, so it's not going to be that much. I think that, yeah, he just bought his BKB straight off 3,900
interesting.
gold, and that's going to be pretty clutch here in the next fight.
Yeah, props to you, man. That was a good call, not going to up to the Manta and just go straight into the BKB. I think it makes sense. The more you say, it's like you're right, there is a lot of magic disable. I said it during the picking phase, a lot of crowd control. So you're right, that pick does make sense. He's going to fly it here via the Courier.
And the Tidehunter, man, he doesn't care about Blink Dagger. He's going straight into Pipe.
Yeah.
That's really key here.
Yep.
And they need to manage to survive and not fight during until they have farmed those items. Titan is pretty close. I think he's really close to his items. I think that Titan Hunter is probably 600 or 700 away from Pipe. And we can see that Chaos Knight is almost close to his BKB. He needs like 800 gold probably to buy it. And that's going to be really important in these next fights to see that everyone has engagement. This Black King bars.
Yep, BKBs, I think that's a good call as well in the Tidehunter. You kind of summed it up. Forget about Blink. You just need to be able to survive the magic damage. If you can get a pipe off before Tiny does his combo, before the Icy Path comes out, you can right there just mitigate a lot of damage. I mean, hell, even what's the Macro Pyre?
Yeah, the microfire.
So, but yeah, the pipe going to be the key item here. BKB just now picked up on Chaos Knight as well to go along with what we're saying here. But oh my gosh, we were wrong about the Tidehunter. He did have the cloak first, but he just right-clicked a blink. So, well, completely wrong on that front. Stallcat, he wants to initiate. He says, hey man, forget about pipe. Initiation is what's going to be key for us here.
He wants to counter-initiate, in my opinion. I think the initiation is coming from IO and the CK.
Yep, and
but let's see what happens.
A smoke going to be used here in the bottom lane near the Dire Tier 2. Stallcat, Equal, and Wadafaka, they're going to come around the back here. Of course, Chaos Knight and Wisp are going to be able to tether and come in whenever they choose to engage. It's going to be sort of a weird two-pronged engage here, and they're sending Wadafaka in the front lines. He does have the Shadow Blade enabled as well so that he can scout it out. He's looking for the opportunities. He's going to take out one of the familiars and just run away. They're looking for the opportunity and still haven't found it quite yet. Smoke's still active on Tidehunter and Chen, and Shadow Fiend is going to back away. Duza Gaming...
They just wanted to engage with that new Blink Dagger, man.
Yep, it's true. They did.
Ravage.
There's that window of opportunity that you have where before they know about the Blink, you can really catch them off guard. So that's true. Tiny, though, he's going to grab a BKB as well.
Oh yes, that's a fairly common item to pick on him. He won't be disabled by Tidehunter or the Chaos Knight. I think it's a really great item. So he's gonna be. It's just for the same reasons that NEXT.kz picked it. Probably it's the same as much as relevant pick for NEXT.kz.
Duza Gaming gonna smoke up. They're gonna move through the Dire jungle. They're gonna find Mantis killing the small camp. And they're going to try to make something happen, perhaps. They see him. They want it. They're going to cut him off. Mantis stuck between his Tier 2 and his Tier 1 in the top lane. And he's going to get engaged on. He's going to use the BKB. He's going to fight it. He's going to try and buy as much time as possible. Wisp going to come in, and the fighting is here. Visage going to be the first to fall. Shadow Fiend's in the mix as well. It's a total 5v5 chaos. Mantis going to fall, as does Tidehunter. It's an even exchange so far. Mib the best coming in. He's trying to do as much damage as he can to the Shadow Fiend, but it's an uphill battle. Shadow Fiend does not have the Aegis anymore. It was burned. That's going to be a 3-for-2 exchange. NEXT.kz, only Wisp and Shadow Fiend alive. But they do have health, and that's the big difference here. Timbersaw, Darkseer, and Tiny, all very low on health. The Chakram going to be used. It's going to be enough to take out Shadow Fiend. Wisp going to fall as well. That's going to be all 5 of NEXT.kz dead for only 3 in exchange. That is bad news bears. Not what our Dire side was looking for in that exchange. Tiny surviving. Going to be able to, well, maybe pressure this Tier 2 in the mid now. Creeps aren't even close. So not much going to come of the fight after that. But Duza showing they've still got some skills to pay the bills.
Oh yeah, for sure. You could see that the biggest issue here for both teams, if you take out the magic damage that I could provide with those BKBs, you could see that Tiny just hits like a truck, man. Without a Ganem Scepter, he was just cleaving his way into victory.
Yep. Absolutely.
He just destroyed everyone that was inside of the wall of replica of the DS. He just cleaved everyone. He had to move to dodge some of the Mantis damage, but it was okay in the end because CK used his BKB a little earlier, and he died a little after his BKB ran out.
Yep, that's definitely true. Roche going to respawn here in just a matter of seconds, so he may become a focal point in the next few minutes of this match. A double damage rune going to spawn in the bottom lane as well, and it looks like Duza Gaming is going to group up and snag it. But both sides just kind of recovering from that last fight. They're going to take that double damage rune. They're going to move straight into Roche. They do have Visage scouting out. Let's take a look at Vision. Does the Dire side have any vision? No, they've got nothing.
Tiny with the double damage, man. Yeah. He can provide 600 damage each of his swings.
Oh my god, you're right. Hitting for 600 apiece. Roche already down to about half health. They do have the Medallion of Courage on the Visage, so that's making Tiny do that much more damage to Roche. By the time the Dire side figures it out, NEXT.kz going to come around the bend. Roche going to fall just as they get to where that Tier 1 is on the Dire side of the river. So it's Tiny still a couple of seconds left on the double damage. Does have the Aegis in the inventory with 3,200 gold. He is a force to be reckoned with right now. Even if they manage to take Tiny out twice in this next fight, he'll have plenty of gold left for buyback. With that double damage rune still on, he's going to take a few swings at this tower. This Tier 2 tower in the mid lane for the Dire falling like wet tissue paper. This Tiny is really starting to hurt. I think a Mask of Madness may be in order at some point here, as well as an Assault Cuirass, and then this Tiny is going to be even that much more scary. He's actually going to port out and defend the Radiant Tier 2 in the top lane. and possibly spend some of his gold here. He's got about 4,500 in the bank near the secret shop. Nope, not going to go for it. So be curious to see what item choices Tiny moves into now that he's got the core Ogs and BKB.
Oh, he's going for Assault Cuirass for sure.
Yeah, you think so?
Just there's no Mask of Madness here because it's probably his death if he picks Mask of Madness, because right click from Chaos Knight is gonna be really scary. I've seen Tiny with Manta style.
Oh, that can be interesting.
That was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
With the illusions hitting like a truck too, because those illusions hurt a
tree.
lot. If you focus the IO with the illusions and just ignore him, I was gonna melt. Just the illusion's gonna kill him.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really hard. Yeah, they get the tree and they hit really hard too.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see an AC probably coming out from him.
Yeah.
But they're pushing bottom lane.
Yep, Duza Gaming going to group up. They are at the tier 2 in the dire side in the bottom here, and they're all clumped up. They want to take out the last remaining tier 2 tower for NEXT.kz. NEXT.kz going to sacrifice it, and they're going to take a tower exchange. Mantis as well as Reeves going to go ahead and go to that tier 2 in the top lane. And now we're going to see the Chaos Knight and the IO pushing the tier 3 here. There you go. They want to break into the base. They're doing kind of a global base race here to some degree. Duza Gaming going to be pressuring the tier 3 as well. Which side is going to cave first? I don't know who's going to back. Mantis and Reeves doing a lot of damage. They get that tier 3 in the top down to about 350 health. And everybody from Duza Gaming going to port back. I can't believe it. The Chaos Knight and IO are enough to force 4 ports back to the base. And of course they're going to back up right away. That's going to stop the push. I don't know how those two did more damage to the tower than Tiny and the rest of the group in a 5v3 situation. But well played by NEXT.kz. They keep their bottom lane safe.
I think that the Chaos Knight and the Wisp could really bring that tower even further down and force the TPs earlier, or even bring the tower down if Chaos Knight used his ultimate. It's just destructive to towers and to players. But I guess they were expecting to fight soon, so they did well. They didn't just threw that ultimate away, so it was a good thing about them from them. And next case, Duza Gaming, they're probably trying to find a fight, smoking for a second time, and I'm not sure if they're gonna find anyone. Yeah, they're
gonna smoke up in the mid lane here. They're gonna head past the top rune and move towards the top where Reeves and Mantis are hanging out. I don't know if they're gonna bump into him. I don't think that they know that they are there. Timbersaw has now picked up a plate mail, which will inevitably turn into a Shiva's Guard as Tiny has finished the Assault Cuirass. So props to you, my friend. Good call on that. But Tiny is now even more scary. He's got a huge amount of armor. He hits for 300 a pop, and now he hits pretty damn fast as well. This is where Tiny really starts to get scary with the BKB as well. He's still got that Aegis in hand. We can't forget about also. Other item pickups that we want to mention before we get out of control here. Big one on Chaos Knight. He's picked up the Sange now. I'm sorry, I thought that was an Abyssal Blade. That's why I said big.
No, he's going for
it's the Sange.
Kevin's Halberd, man.
Yep, going for the Halberd. So my mistake there. He's going to get the Armlet. He's going to combine him. Not combine him, but he is going to grab the Halberd. So
he's going for the Kevin's Halberd just to disable Tiny from hitting.
He's going to take that tree from Tiny and say, "Hey, Tiny, that's my tree. Sorry, pal."
Tiny's going to be sad, but the rock is gonna be a marshmallow for a couple of seconds.
Yep.
Before because it goes through BKB, so it's a really great pickup there.
Yeah, that's true. That is a smart choice. Shadow Fiend has also gone lifesteal now. He's still got the Yasha, but did pick up a Helm of the Dominator. It looks like we may see some action here in the Tier 3 on the Dire side, and indeed we will. The Tier 3 tower going to fall. The fight's going to start off with Tiny getting taken out. He's going to pop back up, of course, does have the Aegis. Chaos Knight going to be able to finish off Visage. Chen going to fall as well. He's going to buy back into this game. Mantis in the mix. He's going to be sent back to the base thanks to the Wisp. Tiny's still alive. I misspoke. Tiny's still alive. Chen was the first to fall. He still has the Aegis. They can't take this Tiny down. Mantis going to come back. And they're going to throw the stun. They're going to try to engage on Limbo. Their melee racks fall. Limbo finally goes down. There's the Aegis getting burnt. And he's going to pop back up. Are they going to have enough to finish him off, though? Tidehunter going to be here. Wants to throw a Gush. Still on cooldown. Nicely timed Avalanche from Limbo is going to keep them stuck. And he is in hot pursuit. Tidehunter going to blink forward. There's the Gush. Shadow Fiend in hot pursuit. doing a lot of damage, and Tiny is going to be able to finish off Tidehunter before he inevitably goes down here, doing a lot of damage to Shadow Fiend as well, going toe-to-toe. Almost finishes him off, but Limbo does fall. His Mega Streak is ended, and NEXT.kz does defend their racks. Kind of. They lose the melee, but do keep the ranged. So, kind of a break-even exchange a little bit. I think Duza coming out ahead because they did get the racks, but they did have to pay a lot of deaths there. My apologies for misspeaking. I heard the coming back noise from Chen's buyback, and I thought it was Tiny coming back from the Aegis. So, my bad. That was Chen who fell initially in that fight.
Yeah, that engagement was pretty much forced by Duza Gaming because they threw in the Tiny to just hit the tier 3 tower on the bottom from their side, and he just destroyed it really quickly. And the moment he destroyed it, he saw a Chen that was out of position. He can just nuke him down and just destroy him really quickly, and then move on to the next racks before the team could respond.
Yep, and all the while there, we did just see another global kill go out. The IO Chaos Knight combination mixed with the Boots of Travel on Shadow Fiend, and they do port to the top lane and get an easy kill on the unsuspecting Timbersaw, who was just happily farming past the river in dire territory. He paid the ultimate price. Timbersaw does now have the Shiva's Guard as well as that Bloodstone, so he's getting a little bit more scary as well. Other item pickups that we may have missed. I don't think we see too many. Chaos Knight does have the Halberd, Heaven's Halberd now. So, of course, does have the chance to slow, but also the active disarm. Beat Tiny upside the head with his own tree. How rude.
Well, EO is picking a Sanj for himself, so he's going for a Heaven's Halberd too. And Shadow Fiend is going for that Eagle Song, probably for a Butterfly, just to Tiny can't really hit him.
Yep.
Because they see that the biggest issue here is Tiny just melting everyone with his cleave and his Aghanim Scepter right click. That's why they are trying to force everything into Heaven's Halberds and Butterflies.
Yep.
That's a really smart choice, but if Tiny picks something like if he picks something
MKB?
like a Monkey King bar,
Yeah.
that's gonna hurt a lot.
It's going to hurt, but the question is, will Tiny do that? Is that going to be Tiny's last item slot here before he sells the drums? Just MKB for the right-click auto attack? I guess. I mean, he is playing that carry role. It kind of makes sense here. It would up his damage quite a bit. I think he's going to be forced to, unless they win this game pretty quickly here, or deliver the crippling blow, I should say, to NEXT.kz before he's able to finish off the wing bow. Not the wing bow. I'm sorry. What's it called? The butterfly. I don't know why. I keep struggling. I see the Eagle Song, and I keep thinking that that item is called Eagle Song, but I know it's not. And it's just one of those Eagle Horn, with the way those little changes, the little nuances really throw me off. Eagle Horn, Eagle Song. All right. So he is going to grab the butterfly. He does have enough, too. 3,800 gold in the bank here for what a fucka on the Shadow Fiend, but of course pooling for the buyback. Doesn't want to just blow it all on the butterfly and then get taken out in the next fight and be SOL. So he's going to wait until the opportune moment before he finishes that item. And Tiny with just about 5k of his own, so he will be able to...
I'm not sure what he's going for a Satanic, or he's either going for a Butterfly. I think he's going for the Butterfly, or he can even go for the Ethereal Blade. You know, if you use Ethereal Blade on the Tiny, Tiny can't attack, and he can nuke him down, but I'm not sure how Chaos Knight will react to that, because Chaos Knight can't attack him either.
Yeah, that is exactly what I was thinking. They don't have that huge amount of magic damage follow-up to really make that work. I mean, they could do that as a way to just disable Tiny while they pick off his supports. That would certainly be a viable option, but...
yeah, but not at 40 minutes. That wouldn't be the pickup for Shadow Fiend.
Wouldn't really work too well, I don't think.
Yeah, and here we go, a Roshan attempt by Duza Gaming, and this time there's a cheese.
Yeah, that's a good point here. 38 minutes into this match, we are on our third Roche kill. Duza Gaming gets him to about half health, but NEXT.kz, they know what's up. They smoke up, they're coming in, and they're going to find an empty Roche pit. Duza also knows what's up here, and they are going to pull out of the pit, and it looks like they made...
NEXT.kz just smoked on top of two wards, one Sentry, one Observer ward, so Duza Gaming just knows what happened there, so they're being cautious. They're doing it in their own right.
Yep, as they should. So both sides camped outside of the Roche pit. NEXT.kz near the Dire Ancients, And Duza Gaming on the other side of the pit near the Dire Tier 1 tower. Tiny going to go in. He's going to hit Roche. Mantis going to go in. They're trying to pick off Limbo. There's a huge Shadow Fiend ulti. Going to do a lot of damage, followed up by a big Ravage from Stallcat. Still no one to die quite yet. First to go down is going to be the EO. Tiny going to fall second. Now Chikiro going to be able to finish off Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend going to buy back straight away, as will Tiny. Both sides going to try and get back into the fight as quickly as possible. Shadow Fiend's here. He's got those boots of travel. They're coming into handy. Chaos Knight now going to fall. He's going to buy back. Chen going to fall. He's going to buy back as well. This fight not looking good for NEXT.kz. They're dying. They're buying back. And there we go. Duza Gaming moving into the Roche pit. Roche just a couple of hits from death. Shadow Fiend wants to go in to try and take the Aegis, but not going to make it happen. Aegis going to get picked up by Tiny. Chi's going to be on the ground. Tiny going to go ahead and grab them both. Wow, Duza Gaming now in great shape. NEXT.kz forcing a lot of buybacks there. What's the buyback button? No buybacks remaining on the Duza Gaming side. 4 remaining, or pardon me, 4 remaining on Duza's side, none remaining on NEXT.kz. So they need to make something happen here. This needs to be a big defense as Duza pushes up. They're pressuring that tier 3. This Tiny is just feeling unstoppable here with the cheese and the Aegis.
Man, killing Tiny 3 times in a row is really hard.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard. More initiation here. A big vacuum from the Darkseer. The BKBs are on from Mantis as well as Wadafaka. They're trying to go in. I don't think Chaos Knight has the damage. Tiny getting low. 300 hit points. He's going to eat the cheese. He's back in the battle. Now the BKBs are off. Things are looking rough for NEXT.kz. Wadafaka, almost surviving, but that last hit going to finish him off. Him and Chen going to be down. It's a 5v3. Their bottom lane of racks are gone. Their mid lane going to fall shortly after. Tiny taking out the melee. Range going to fall in just a couple of seconds here. And Capron going in. Visage going to grab a couple of kills. And I think we may see a GG well played come out. Visage is going to fall as he's diving the well here, but he's buying his team much needed time to finish off the ranged racks in the mid lane. The tier 4 towers are going to fall as well. The throne is exposed, and I think that's all she wrote for NEXT.kz. Chen already disconnected. Chaos Knight going to go in for one last hurrah, but he's going to get dropped like he's hot. GG's coming out.
And that's bad manners. I see there. Equal just disconnects. Didn't even say GG, nothing.
Yeah.
Just disconnects.
That's it.
That was pretty bad blood there.
Fuck this shit, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm not playing this anymore.
And GG. So, Duza Gaming with a nice win over NEXT.kz. It was looking like they were up against the ropes a little bit earlier on, with NEXT.kz having a solid mid game, but in the end, Chaos Knight just proving not as effective as that Tiny. I think Tiny certainly had the better of the farm if we look at the net worth at the end of the game. Wait, is Chaos Knight really that much more farmed than Tiny on net worth, or is that chart bollocks now because of the end of the game? Yeah, I think the chart is not updated. There's no way that Chaos Knight was 6,000 gold ahead on net worth at the end.
No, impossible.
I don't think so. Yeah, I think that chart's a little
because
screwy.
You can see the gold per minute. Chaos Knight is sitting at 400 and Tiny is 660. So
yeah,
that's pretty much bollocks. Tiny just died 3 times and Chaos Knight died 7. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go.
There's something going on there.
So,
net worth. Yeah, just updated.